What's up, y'all? This is Taylor with Dad's Day Off DIY, and this is another episode of my mission to have the best lawn in the neighborhood. Not just that, but the perfect lawn. If you tuned into the last two videos, we've been fighting weeds. We also found in episode 2 that the sprinkler coverage in this main section of the front yard just was not adequate. Not only were we not running it long enough to get enough water on the lawn for each watering cycle, but also found that there was uneven coverage. We had anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 2/10 of an inch. And then goal here is to get head-to-head coverage with about 1/4 inch per watering cycle. So today we're going to jump in. I'm going to show you how to adjust the sprinkler heads, get better coverage on the lawn. We're going to go ahead and retest with our water gauges, rain gauges, and we're going to see what we come up with. So just to give you an idea what our setup is here, as well as the results we came up with last time. So I've got 4 sprinkler heads in this front yard. I've got one here at the front of the sidewalk by the driveway in the corner, another one up in the corner of the top of the sidewalk in the garden bed. Then we've got one in the middle down here at the sidewalk. We've got another in the middle about halfway up the yard over on the far side of the lot. So the biggest issue here is you see this problem area. We've got a couple of 1/10 inch measurements down here in the front. That is completely inadequate coverage. Probably tells me there's an overlap issue, not getting good head-to-head coverage. And then same up here in this other middle section. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and adjust the sprinkler heads, make sure we've got our arc and our radius right. And we ideally want at least 2 sprinkler heads in each of these zones that are going head-to-head coverage. So if any's falling short, that is probably where our issue is and we're getting low watering at. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, so first things first, I want to show you just a couple of different adjustment points on the sprinkler head itself. So first thing you need to do is find the left stop that this head comes equipped with. So take your wrench and grab it on the bottom. Now you can see the head up top. You can twist that all the way until it stops. You're going to find the left stop point. Now, in the back of the head, you've got an adjustment point. You can get one of these little tools, Rainbird tool, stick down in the slot. If you look at the back of it, you got a plus that will increase the radius that the head's going to spin to the right and set the right boundary. Then you've got the negative, which will reduce the degrees of the right boundary. So twist that in. We could decrease the boundary, or we can increase it. Now, the next adjustment point that you've got here in the front has a little set screw that goes down, and that is going to change the fan of the spray. That's going to change the arc and the distance that this is sending. So right now you can see it's fanned out. I can get it in there, reduce that, or pull the set screw back, and it's going to start to send it out further in the arc. So that's what we're going to go ahead and do across all the different heads that we have in this zone. Again, we want to make sure that each of them are covering head to head. So we're going to make sure our radius is right, and then change the coverage and the arc length, and let's see what we come up with. First thing I can see is this head down here in the front by the sidewalk isn't doing a full 180, even though it's covering a really large zone. So we're going to go ahead, grab it gently, and spin it back. Got it all the way to the right boundary. Let it come back around. We want to twist that until it's covering the left. Now from there, because we turned the whole head so that it's getting the full left boundary, we're going to need to increase the radius so that we come out here a little further to the right. A little more. Too much. Reduce that just a bit. I can see from this point that we are getting good coverage from the other head up in the corner. So that's reaching head to head now. That's good after we did the initial adjustment. And this one's reaching perfectly to the other side of the lawn. So we've got good coverage in this zone now. Remember, this was one of our low zones, so should be doing pretty good there now. Now we're going to check this one. Now I could see from where we were at that this looks to have a pretty good radius on it, so I don't think we need to adjust that one. But the fan seems pretty inadequate, so we're going to dial that back a little bit. I can see it hitting the other head now. In good shape. Now again, one more thing I can see, the head up in that corner is not hitting any of this grass. This is our lowest dead grass, bare spots. This is where we need to fill in. So we're going to go adjust that one just a little bit, increase the arc on that one too. Actually, we're a little bit far left on this one, so I'm going to turn the head, bring it back, and we're probably going to have to reduce the radius now. Let's see where we're at. Yeah, let's dial that back just a little bit. A little bit of dirt in there we got to dig out. Left boundary still a little far. Let's bring it back. There we go. Perfect. Still a little bit far. All right, so I know in the last video we said that we were going to go and increase the time of watering, but I think with the coverage issues that we saw, it actually doesn't make sense yet. We've adjusted all the settings. I think right now what it's time for is to put these rain gauges back in with the adjusted coverage. We're going to try that out again here at a 15-minute watering cycle and see if we notice any changes before we increase the time of watering. But if we've got pretty uniform coverage and we're still just a little light because we spread out the fans, then from there we can go ahead and increase the time. But right now it just seems a little bit early. And try and get all of these rain gauges back and close to the same area as they were before. Then we're going to turn it back on and run it again. All right, y'all, so I'm not going to waste your time watching me go around the yard and pick up rain gauges and wipe down the water levels, but what I can tell you after I did it was we are uniform across the entire yard now. We're seeing 2/10 of an inch, so it's still a little bit below that 1/4 inch per watering cycle that I want to see. I think I am going to take the time up from 15 minutes to 20 minutes in this section. That should get us pretty close. Let's see if it solves that issue. You know, we've got a couple of thin spots you saw throughout some of the videos so far, some weed issues, so the end goal here is just that we're going to feed this lawn deep watering cycle, encourage those roots to grow, thicken up the lawn, and just crowd out those weeds altogether. So that's our mission. coming to you in the next video. We're going to show some different tips on mowing. I've put up a couple of shorts that you can see where, I've done some quick clips riding around the yard, but I want to show you what I'm really thinking about here and how we can also use that to encourage our lawn to grow nice and thick. So tune back in the next episode, episode 4 of our mission to have the best lawn in the neighborhood, the perfect lawn. And let us know in the comments, is there anything else you want to see, questions you have? Happy to answer, do some more videos. Look forward to seeing you next time on Dad's Day Off.